Welcome to Backyard Bows. Hey, welcome to Backyard Bows. I'm Brandon, and today we got our second Elite bow up for review, the Enkore. So this is actually the Enkore 2021. They're reselling it this year, but they haven't made any changes on it at all, even from the smallest ones. It's the exact same bow from last year. And the other bow that we did, which was actually towards the beginning of our review process, was the Envision, which I loved. So a little bit different specs on these two bows, but there are a lot of similarities too. So first, the axle-to-axle height is a little lengthened on the Enkore at 33, where I think it was 31 with the Envision. And then the Enkore has a little bit shorter brace height at 6 inches comparatively to the almost 7-inch brace height of the Envision. So it says it's 4.5 pounds out of the bare bow, but out of the box it was actually right around 5 pounds, which I saw that with the Envision too. A little bit of a discrepancy there with some of the specs. This is a little bit quicker, so we got 340 IBO rating comparatively to like 332. I did go, so they had two new colors this year. The Envision, we did the Mountain Tan. With the Enkore, I went with the Sienna Brown, which not just by Elite, who has a lot of cool color options this year, which they're kind of known for. But I think the Sienna Brown overall across the board is probably one of my favorite solid colors that you can get. So something else with the finish job on Elite's bows, and if you haven't got a chance to get one of these bows in your hand, right when you pick it up, I think that's what I noticed first, is that this finish on these bows is so clean, it's thick, it reminds me of kind of a Line-X truck liner. It just looks like it's real durable. Man, I love the finishes on these bows. So let's touch on some of this really cool features that these Elite bows come with. So first, you got this set technology, which is simplified exact tuning, really easy system to work with. You loosen up the bolt here on the top, and then on the side where it actually says tail right or tear right, tail left, you can actually adjust either right or left for your tear, and kind of tune your bow, which we've seen with a couple different companies. Bowtech and Elite are kind of known for this, but out of the box is all you need with the bow, and you can actually tune your bow, kind of paper tune your bow right here all in one. Really, really cool, really easy to work with. A little bit different system than we saw with Bowtech, where the Elite bows, you're kind of taking and relieving pressure from limbs. Bowtech, you're moving, and altering the cam on the axle. So a little bit different idea. I love when bows have a self-tuning system. Two things. One, I don't know personally how important it is to shoot a bullet hole and to have an exactly paper-tuned bow. I know for a fact my dad with his Bear Whitetail 2, he probably never paper-tuned his bow, and did he have a lot of problems with it? No. I know guys to this day that are shooting a bow that they've shot for 10 years, and I could ask them, hey, have you ever paper-tuned that bow? And they would probably say no. And if we shot it through, paper, would it be exact? Probably not. And do they have problems with it? No. So I think the more precise and tuned you can get your bow, the better. But how much of a difference does it make? I don't know. So I think it's a really cool system, but the only downside I see with, these self-tuning systems is that there's extra bolts up here, there's extra things to come loose, and then your bow can get adjusted without you knowing. So I think with these systems, just make sure that when you do loosen and you kind of alter these, your tuning system, make sure that you tighten everything down really, really good when you're done. I love that they put 2 board holes on for the rest. I love their accessories. I think that they've done a really good job with the detail. They got this little metal cover that covers up those screws from the outside. This thing, I just like, I love detail, and I think Elite is coming right along with the detail. I love that they have those carbon stabilizers. I actually went with one of these Quattro stabilizers, a new company that I really like. I think that they're great craftsmen and they produce some great stabilizers. I love it. I love their cable guards. So they have these cable guards that you can adjust right and left, taking the torque out of the cables and kind of giving you a little bit more clearing if you need it. Something that I didn't mention with the Envision that I do love about Elite is that all their bows come with Winner's Choice strings, which are some nice high quality strings and cables. And then let's go to our cam. So something that we saw a little bit different, and it was from the Cure to the Enkore in 2021, is they kind of switched, you know, your rotating module, which is a lot easier to work with than the one that was on the Cure. Couple bolts, screws come out, rotate it to whatever draw length. It goes from 23 all the way up to 30, so a nice, really nice long variety for draw length. You got 70, 75, 80, 85, and 90% let-off options, which again, I really love that you have a nice wide range of let-off options. Something that you guys were asking about in one of the last reviews is, does it matter for speed, the let-off? And I said, when you get into like an 80 to 85, 90, I don't think you'll see much there, but what we will do is when we run it through the chronograph, we'll put it on 70, we'll run one through, and then we'll put it on 90. We'll be able to see how much speed does it vary, you know, changing your let-off, if any. I love the limbs on the Enkore. These things are really nice, sleek, slim. I love where the limb meets the limb pockets. These are my second favorite, right next to Hoyt. I just think it's a really, really nice, solid system up here. They got these 2 dampening blocks in between. They got a couple on the string here, just nice and sleek. The whole bow altogether looks awesome. The grips on these Elites are my second favorite too, right behind Hoyt. They just kind of mold to your hand really, really nicely. I love the way they're shaped. Nice and thin, but not too thin. And they just kind of fit you really, really nice. So overall, Enkore probably, and again, I've shot this, you know, a ton. We circle back to it to do a review on it, but this probably, hands down, to date, is my favorite bow by Elite. From top to bottom, everything about it, I love this bow. I think this is probably, you know, some of their best work to date. So let's go ahead, we'll do our single shot assessment. And then we'll go outside. It's 66 degrees outside. It is June. I can't believe it. It's a beautiful day. We will shoot an absolute ton this weekend. You know, and it gets you a nice honest grade for this bow. Something else I like about these Elites is they have a dampener right at the back of the string stop, which just makes sense to me. You know, that's kind of right under your grip, right where the string kind of takes all of the blow from the string, and you got a nice little dampener right here on the end. You know, I love the option also of any bow where you can have a string stop or a limb stop. They got these nice little backboards, I call them, on the top and bottom, where you can switch up your limb stop and it kind of hits against that backboard, which I love. Man, let's go ahead, let's shoot a couple. We got 40 through 70 pound options, 40, 50, 60, 70. They're supposed to fluctuate 10 pounds. I could only get about 3.5 turns out, and which got it down to about 62, 63 pounds, so they don't even fluctuate the full 10, which is again the same thing we saw with the Envision. So a couple of the specs are a little bit off, but other than that, let's go ahead. We'll shoot a couple here inside, and then we'll get outside and we'll start slinging some. So, man, so I really talked the Envision up, which I loved the Envision. I thought it was a great, I think they made some really cool changes to kind of vary from this bow, from the Enkore and the Cure, because really the Enkore is just the Cure 2.0 in my eyes. So I think they made a ton of cool changes to the Envision, but the Enkore is more my style hunting bow. It kind of has a nice reflex to it. 6-inch brace height is perfect for me. That's kind of where you can really get some of those speeds, but not take away too much of the forgiveness of the bow. I like that it has a little bit longer axle to axle. I think it sets up a little bit better, especially having some higher speed. So, you know, about halfway, it flows really nice and back, you know, and this is on 90% let off, and usually when they're on 90% let off, man, for some reason, I feel like they give you that kind of jerk towards the end, but this flows really, really nicely back. I love how this balances up. So it does have a little bit of lean left and right to it, which you can kind of counterbalance and reset it up with your level on on your sight, but the forward and backwards. So when you're in full draw, it just feels really, really good. It doesn't want to jump on you, but you still are tense. So you kind of, you're not too relaxed in full draw, which I also kind of like that. I don't want to get too relaxed. Usually on 90% let off, that's what I feel. So it still has a nice back wall, but you're kind of, you're still having to hold it in place. And then the vibration, I said it with the Envision, and again, we had some comments of people saying, man, the Envision, I felt like it had a huge thud. I did not feel that at all, and same with this. It's really, really light. You can feel it, but it's not anything that's too noticeable. That's not the first thing that stood out to me, when I shot it for the first time. So, man, I love this bow. I think this is, in my eyes, this is Elite's best work to date. Absolutely beautiful hunting bow. I think Elite is up there with some of the highest quality and craftsmanship that you can get, and they are just, to me, they are just climbing the ladder, competing with some of the best bows out there. I mean, if you're not an Elite person and you haven't gotten too many in your hands, I would venture out. I'd venture out. I love these bows. I kept the Envision. I'm 100% will probably hold on to this Enkore for a long time. These are some great bows. Yeah, so the only thing that I'm really noticing is that, right to left, it wants to lean a little bit. You counterbalance it out. It feels good. Let's get outside. Let's have some fun. It is beautiful, beautiful outside. We'll sling a whole bunch of arrows today. So today is made for a review. 65 degrees. You cannot get prettier than this. We're right into June too. So I know it gets harder and harder to shoot as it gets hotter through the summer, but if you ever get one of these days, make sure you get some in. I would say practice constantly, but take advantage of those perfect days. We are lucky, to get these bows in, really cool bows in that we can review. We have an amazing space here. We'll shoot at all these really cool targets. But this is, I feel lucky on days like today. This is just a perfect day for this. Really cool bow in hand, and we'll shoot a whole bunch through it. So, turkey boar buck. I think some bows loosen up to me. Like I've mentioned in some of the other videos, something that really stands out at the beginning might smooth out later, or vice versa. But the more and more I've shot an Enkore, the smoother that draw gets. It's a very, very similar pull the entire time, nice and medium. About halfway it lets go a little bit, but it's still tense enough where it just kind of flows perfectly back. I would say it has a little bit more vibration than the Envision did in the hand. And I know some of the comments, we kind of went back and forth and disagreed on that a little bit. The Envision, I didn't feel much at all. This, I feel just a little bit, nothing negative, but just a light little tap of the hand. And then I think all Elites have a very similar, distinct sound to me. It's not too loud, but it's a nice little thud. And I don't know if it's the tuning system built in, because I would say Bowtech has the exact same concept of, not the same sound, but all of their bows sound very similar to me, and they have a self-tuning system themselves. So, but it's just like a nice little thud. I mentioned that in the Envision video quite a bit, just the noise that it was making was just, it just stood out a lot to me. So I love the way this holds. Again, you kind of have to balance it out a little bit left to right, but once you get it in full draw, it's a fairly, heavier bow on the heavier side. So it really does set up nice in full draw, front and back. It's pretty solid. But man, this thing, These fire so nice. I love the cam systems that they have. The cables are attached on each side of that cam. I feel like in full draw, it's just real nice and solid. Balance is really nice. Let's go across, we'll shoot some of those longer range shots. So I've really enjoyed Elite these past couple years. I do love that this year with the Envision, they really tried to switch it up and give you a new bow. Because like I said before, the Enkore to me is pretty much the Cure 2.0. And then some of their other bows that just have a longer axle to axle, it's just, you know, the Cure 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 to me. But I love the Envision. I love that they mixed it up, tried to give you a new riser, pretty much a new bow. With that being said, I'm still going back to the Enkore. This is my favorite bow from them. Something I'll mention again, if you have not gotten one of these in your hands, the finish on these bows, the craftsmanship, the detail, the quality is incredible. So we'll go broadhead buck, then we'll go to the black bear. Just incredible. It's some of the highest quality, I think, finish that you can get across the board, any bow. And I actually, for what you're paying, it's kind of that you know, flagship tier. I think I got it for $11.50, so right a little bit over $1,000. But I think it's well worth it comparatively to other bows that are priced the same. The quality that you're getting with these bows is awesome. So besides the little bit of lean, light kick to the hand, and the noise that these Elites make, I love it. I mean, it's pleasant to shoot for a bow that's going to get you know, those higher speeds, you know, a little bit quicker, you know, maybe 8 feet per second than the Envision, to feel just as, you know, just as nice, smooth. You know, I think the shortening of the brace height, but the lengthening of the axle to axle is kind of giving it a very similar forgiveness. But man, I love this thing. Love this thing. So it's time to hop up the hill. We'll get up some on the elk. This is my favorite time to shoot from over here because there's like a little silhouette around the elk where all the foliage comes in, and all you can see is kind of that core shooter. You know, the core part where you shoot at is kind of exposed in the tree line. This simulates like a really cool 3D course out here. But we'll get up to the elk, we'll shoot some there. We'll run it through that chronograph. We'll sit down, put together a grade for you after we shoot, you know, a good amount this afternoon. But overall, it's a personal opinion, but this is one of my favorite bows. I always keep some, set them aside. This is just one that I'll probably hold on to for a while. But let's go ahead, we'll shoot some up top. Okay, need to make a little bit of an adjustment. And I noticed when I was sighting it in, I might have been a little bit far to the left, but without messing with my sight, I'll just make a mental adjustment. We'll make one more, but, and I say it all the time, if you're fixated on one company, one brand of bow, you don't have to go purchase them. Just go try them. Get into a bow shop just for fun. The Solution SS from last week, man, get that bow in your hand. That's a just fantastic bow. Get some of these Elites in your hand. I mean, you would think they would be more similar, but every bow, after you shoot so many, you can really tell they're all very individually characterized in their own ways. and they have little distinct things about them, and it's cool to see. And that's the best part about right now being a hunter. You can find something that fits you, your style of hunting, your posture, your strengths, your weaknesses perfectly. But you got to go out there and venture out a little bit. So let's put one more up top. Man, what a cool bow. Let's go run it through the chronograph and see what it gets. Same as always, we switch that 90% to 85% let off. This is just for our speed test that we'll do. Then we'll show you, for those of you out there who had a question about does let off play a huge effect in the speed, we'll do one at 70, do one at 90, we'll show you the difference, if any. So 29.5, 70 pounds, 85% let off. 283. So for 340 IBO, 283, that's gonna get that 10 out of 10. That's really nice and solid. To me, that's for my draw length, my hunting setup, that's what I like to see, is anywhere between 280 and 290 is that's the 10 out of 10 for me. That's what I want. And again, for a bow that is comfortable as this one that gets those speeds is perfect. Let's see how consistent it is. I know the Envision 283. Let's do one more. And that was one of my only real complaints about the Envision, was that it was kind of all over the place. And I really haven't changed too much with this chronograph. I know it's not the best one, but it's been used the exact same light, same everything for all the tests, and a lot of bows are really consistent, and that one just wasn't. So let's do one more. 284. So nice and consistent, nice solid speed. That's kind of right where I want to be. Let's switch these let-offs. We'll shoot one at 90 and then we'll shoot one down at 70 and see if we can't get a significant difference. So easy switch all the way to the bottom of that let-off bar. So we're down to 70% let-off. Last arrow shot was 284. So let's see, for those of you who had the question, does let-off play a huge significant difference in the speed? We'll see. So that says duplicate, so that's 284. So that's a 0% difference in the speed, but man, is 90 and 70% let off make a huge difference in the hold. So extremely jumpy, kind of hard to hold back. 285, so that actually increased the speed by 1 beat per second. So there you go, and that was kind of my answer on the comments, was it doesn't really affect the speed of the bow, just your effort into holding it back, and I think that's all preference. So let's sit down, we'll give it a grade. All right, grading time. And this might be a little bit of a shocker. Let's just start from the beginning. Speed, 283 gets the 10 out of 10. 29.5 inch draw, 70 pounds, 85% let off, 500 grain arrow. Right there at the, that's what I'm looking for, between 280 and 290, 10 out of 10. So 283 is what it topped out at. Quality. If I could go back and give the Envision, after getting my hands on so many different bows from this year, I probably would have bumped the quality of the Envision up even to a 9. And it's the only change I could go back and say that I probably would have made. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think the quality and durability of these elite bows are top notch. I think for a machined riser, this is a 10 out of 10. This is the best quality that you can get. I think the only thing that has been getting the 10 out of 10 for the quality are the carbons. But I mean, everything from the cable guard to the cams, mods, limbs, limb pockets, riser, the finish, everything, top notch, unbelievably quality with these elite bows. Appeal, I also gave it a 9 out of 10. I love the way this bow looks above any other bow from Elite. This is probably one of my favorite looking bows. I love the new colors, solid colors from this year, Mountain Tan, Sienna Brown. Beautiful bow. I love all the accessories that they have for Elite now too. Everything, really nice detail, craftsmanship is exceptional. So technology, out of the box, you don't need anything else. 10 out of 10. I mean, this is everything you need in a bow. I said it before, bow shops probably hate it. DIY guys like me, this is perfect. This is something that you can work on. It's a very simple system to use. It's very accurate. I absolutely love the technology that Elite has put into their bows, top notch. So, and then on to the performance. Also gave it a 9 out of 10. This is up there with my favorites of bows to shoot. Nice and easy to shoot. The draw cycle loosens up with this thing. The more you shoot it, the more comfortable it gets. Has pretty nice hold on it, balance, very little vibration in the hand. That little distinct Elite pop kind of noise that I feel like they have that's distinct. But other than that, I love shooting this bow. So highest grade we've given yet, and that's just the way the cookie crumbled. This is just kind of how everything fell into place with our grading system factoring in. The price tag got those 2 extra points being $11.50. Anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500, you get to make up for 2 extra points. So overall, 49 out of 50, which gives it the 98 out of 100. Highest bow grade yet that we've put out there. Definitely one of my favorites, by far my favorite that Elite's put out yet. Make sure you get into a bow shop for this very reason. If you're stuck on one manufacturer, one brand, get out there and just for fun, get some different bows in your hand. I think you'll be surprised, and I think you'll like what you find. More bows in your hand, the better, especially if you're new to the sport of archery. Get out there and try everything. One will fit you, and one will feel the best to you, and I promise you will stand out above all. Get as many bows in your hands as you can. Above all, get your reps in on the daily. We'll see you next Saturday.